to come and listen to the music. Now they like boxing. And my banker went. He never liked boxing, and my banker attended. Him and his wife attended the last show, and he came up to me. And he came also just because of me and my family, and then also because of the artist that was playing, Adam Warner. He wanted to hear Adam Warner. He's heard of him, and so he wanted to see him perform. So he came mostly to watch Adam Warner perform. And after the show, he's also one of the people come up to me and says, "Man, it's boxing, man. It's fun. I didn't realize how much fun it was." So it's a good crossover that I'm crossing a lot of different people with, which is, and it makes me feel good because what happened, boxing needs that shot in the arm too for recognition and get the fan base back. I mean, boxing is not what it used to be in the prime when I was doing it with Don. I mean, boxing is. I think I could help be a part of bringing it back.
And kind of coming off of that note, Christy, your thoughts on that, where boxing is at, and bringing it back to a place of prominence. Your take?
We need some personalities. We need some excitement brought back to boxing, and this and the boxing together is going to do that. With this, we're going to find some, as I said, we're going to find opportunities. We can give them all the opportunities, but they have to be ready and do their work in the gym as well to get ready to take advantage. So Jimmy's going to provide the opportunities for them, and I'm going to sit in the background, and everybody's ready to take advantage of those great ability. I mean, he's on everything forms, so this is the opportunity. So many young fighters. Get out to your sponsor, the vodka sponsor, Fucklehead.
Yeah, I got a sponsor now, Fucklehead, and the thing about it is, his grandson named it. They was at the beach. Actually, was at the beach, and he was doing this, putting this together at the brewery, and he took in. Ocean came in. He was holding his grandson, and the ocean wave came in, and knocked his grandson's pants off. The pants went down. The swimming trunks went down to his feet, to his ankles, and he looked at his grandpa and said, "Fucklehead." And so he named the vodka. That's what he named the vodka, was Fucklehead. But the cool thing about it too, it's American made and it's veteran owned, which is pretty cool about it. So I'm really proud and honored to be part of that also.
Yeah, and that again plays right into, looking at boxing, looking at country music, that connection and that heart of America, and then like you say, veteran owned and created here and whatnot. And then the story behind it is really. That's really cool. I like that. That makes me want to go out and buy it just because of the grandson story. So I think that's kind of a special part to it. But what it sounds like to me, Jimmy, is it's just a lot of, and Christy included in this, it's just a lot of good people working together to try and bring a lot of passions all into one room at the same time. I mean, that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing you, I'm hearing Christy, I'm hearing, the partners of different people that you work with, the music that you looked for. It just sounds like a bunch of good people trying to do something positive for a country that desperately needs it right now.
But yeah, we got, also with the TV stuff, with Fight TV, we got Mike Weber. He works with us totally, works with us on the production side. We've got John Moscione that's been with Don King for over 30 years in production, TV production. He flies in on every show, comes in 2 days before the show, gets things together. Commentating, we got Mark Abers, which, Chris can explain. He's a boxing genius. He's just everywhere in boxing, writer and so forth. He commentates along with, I brought in the Titan pro defensive, retired now, is Albert Hainsworth. So Albert Hainsworth, he's just absolutely loving it because, it's something different for him at the pro football. And so, it's a lot of good people, that wants it to work, a lot of good people working together. And the good thing about it, people I work with, when They have no egos. They all just working as a team. It's probably, in all my life, it's probably the best working relationship I've had in my whole boxing career. I mean, where everybody works together. I mean, there's no larceny, and it's just fun. And everybody's got the same goal to make it work and succeed, and and bring back good boxing, and also give some of these country music entertainers an opportunity. But you know what? I just got a call to go to Memphis. To go to Memphis and start the same thing in Memphis. But they want me to do blues boxing. They want me to bring jazz and so forth, blues, because of Memphis. And so I think we're going to take that up too. It's on Thursday night. They want on Thursday once a month. So I think I'm going to, well, I don't think, I know I'm going to end up doing that too. So it's going to, so, I just see it growing and growing. And as it grows, more people come aboard. And so, and with people like Christy Martin, I can't tell you how thankful and glad I am that she come on my team, because she definitely adds to it, and she definitely knows what she's doing. I mean, she's got the experience, but such a wonderful lady. And my family, overnight first show, just grow to love her. My daughter, 6-year-old, never goes to nobody, but went to Christy and hugged her. And she asks about almost every day, when's Christy coming back? When's Christy coming back? And so it's turned into a good, I mean, it's really like everybody's family. And that's really a great atmosphere to work in.
Absolutely. Good energy. It was, and everybody wants success, and everybody, and that's why I think working together works, as we have heard from, and that's what we're actually doing is, and no one's afraid to, everyone wants to stay in their own lane. So it's going to be successful, and it's already success. That's all.
Yeah, and the
team is really important to that. The team and family concept, I think, is like a win-win situation. It reminds me back when we had the Tuesday night fights and Cedric Kushner around, and you could watch fights for free on Wide World of Sports, and Tuesday night fights you could, and ESPN started doing them, and now it seems like there's so much more that you have to pay big money for. And with the economy the way it is, the small time boxing fans don't get the opportunity to watch those because they can't afford them. So I think you're going in the right direction. And boxing was really fun back then, when you had all those different promoters and styles of fights that were on TV, so you could watch them.
Well, so many fighters were brought up through USA Network back in the day, Tuesday night fights. I mean, Tommy Morrison, that's how he built his record up so fast. He fought like every 3 weeks he was fighting on USA Network. I mean, that's how I bought Burt Cooper back after he quit on a stool with George Foreman in Las Vegas, and his manager and everybody ditched him. And I got a phone call, will you take Burt Cooper? And so I said, sure, I take him. So I took his management, brought him to Virginia at the time, and trained him, and we fought 4 fights on USA Network back to back, and then we fought for the title against Vander Holyfield in Georgia.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, having, like you said, all of the things that we can connect back to this country box. I do want to make a note: Nashville, Tennessee, Tuesday, June 13th, Texas Troubadour Theater, professional boxing and live country music coming to you from Jimmy Adams Promotions. And so with that being said, Christy, any final note here to Jimmy before we bid him adieu this morning?
We're going to have the knockout.
I look forward to June 13th, seeing Christy again. It's a privilege to talk to her every day as we talk now at text. I know that I feel very special with Christy Martin, because I know she got a new member to her family, and she's still taking the time to talk to me.
Champ.
I love me some Jimmy Adams. We go way back, way back. In the good, the very ugly that has happened with and my career.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have a connection that's very special. And Jimmy, this morning, I appreciate you being here, and obviously I would love to have you back on, and as we get closer to talk even deeper into country box and all that it is. But we appreciate you, appreciate your time. I want to let people know there's a bunch of different ways that you can go out here. You go to Eventbrite and go to a country box where music meets boxing, and you can go ahead and start buying those tickets now for Tuesday, June 13th and the entire event. So Jimmy, as always, thank you for everything that you do for Christy, because I know that she's one of the best out there, and if she says a good thing about somebody, that means something. And thank you for taking some time with us here this morning. Thank you for what you're doing with this country and the positivity that you're bringing and paying it forward. I mean, if for nothing else, it was great to just hear somebody talk about helping others and caring about others. So I know you have some fantastic stories, connections to great people like Don King, but above everything, I want to thank you for just caring about the next person and looking to bring some positivity, like I said, to a country that really needs to smile and have fun and come together. So I just really do appreciate everything that you're doing out there.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure being on your show.
All right, perfect. We'll talk with you soon, Jimmy.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So that coming once again from Jimmy Adams here on the broadcast, and we have Pat Orr and Christy going to continue here with us on Christy's Corner for a bit longer here this morning on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, our bi-monthly segment that comes to you exclusively every other Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time here on our multiple channels on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. So however you're connected to us, we thank you for being here every other Tuesday for Christy's Corner, and of course for being here with us Monday through Friday in general from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. With that being said, Christy, we've heard about Champ. Do we get to meet Champ, or what's up?
Yeah, Champ. He's asleep. Actually, down bed. Come. Debut.
It's his debut.
So,
there he is. There's the man.
The world. Hey, world.
There's Champ.
Up in Syracuse. We'll be up in Syracuse. We're gonna be doing some really cool stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited, Christy, that the Champ had some time here in his schedule this morning. I know that since you got him, he's been very busy. We talk about promotions and events and different things going on, and I know that Champ has had a very, very busy schedule since coming home to you and to Lisa. So I'm very, very proud that we get a few minutes with him and we get to do his debut. I've gotten to do a lot of things here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, but I've never debuted a dog before as a guest. So shout out to Champ for making some history.
That's awesome.
Tell him, Champ. He's so tiny, Pat. He's like 2.8 pounds, but
goodness.
he's good. He's like doing his numbers where he's need to go outside. He tore his pee pad all up. Like, I don't need this pee pad.
Too funny.
Crazy.
So, he got my heart.
Well, we look forward to seeing him up here very soon, and we're going to jump into rapid fire here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of Christy's Corner, and a big shout out to Champ again. So Champ's debut, and we'll see Champ up here in Syracuse, New York later on this week, as Christy and I have some food to eat thanks to Pat for that. So a lot of great stuff coming up here. Pat, and when Pat was talking about teamwork and putting teams together and all of that, and I got to give you credit where credit is due, Pat, because you put this team together of Christy and I and Gene Waldron. You helped to put this all together, and you deserve all of the credit for that. So we appreciate it very, very much so. And that's going to be the food truck battle coming on this weekend with over 50 different trucks. And we're going to be there from 11 o'clock on until I think like 3 or 4 to try this food and have some fun with it. So we'll be there by 11. I'm not going to, not to knock any other judging groups out there. I just know that I have the best two people. So I know that having Christy and Gene, we're going to kill it and we're going to have some fun with it. So I do want to give a shout out where shout outs are due there. But Pat, I mean, let's discuss that before we get into rapid fire. The fact of what we have going on, the fact that Christy's going to be here in the community of Central and Upstate New York this weekend, and, just putting all this together, because it definitely means a lot to me that, you've included Christy and Jean and I to be a part of something really special here. So I'd love to get your thoughts on, this food truck battle and why it was, so imperative to have a special, group of people come together and to have Christy come in for this and be a part of it. So I'd love to get your thoughts on that here.
Yeah, our food truck battle is pretty big. We get 20,000-30,000 people. I think we're really pushing for 30,000 this year. Our ticket sales are going through the roof, and it's I think people are excited. It's going to be nice weather, and we got good music, and we got beer and wine slushies and kids zone. So we kind of cater to everybody. But I thought, for the judging, we needed some celebrity judges. So I asked Christy, and I asked Dan, and had Dan ask Jean, and I think we put together a pretty good team that, it might be an annual, it might be an every year thing. I hope you all still like me after you eat food from 55 trucks, but hopefully they space it out, and just remember, only take a bite. Don't eat the whole thing. You're not going to make it through the day. But I think that it'll be fun, and it's just it's for the people, and there's nothing better than going to an event and there's one of your favorite basketball players, or favorite boxers, or music, or whatever. It just makes it more enjoyable and more exciting, and to be able to intermingle with Christy and Jean is going to be nice.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the opportunity of doing this, and I love my community, and people know that. I mean, I always say that the Macklemore line, I got my city right behind me. If I fall, they got me. So Central and Upstate New York, we're going to have some fun this weekend. Saturday, May 13th, you'll see Christy, Salters Martin, Gene Waldron from Syracuse basketball history. And, of course, you'll see me out there at the wonderful food truck battle that we're going to be doing. Christy, do you have any thoughts on this? I said when we were getting ready to go on the air and Pat was talking to Jimmy, I told you that I might start fasting today. So, do you have any thoughts on this, Christy? Do we have a plan as a team?
You know what? It's because this morning I was very careful while I'm gone, and then I'm like, oh, food all long on Saturday. So yeah, we're gonna have, but I think we might just start fasting today.
Yeah, I think I might have to. I was thinking about some food I was gonna get, but Pat, I have to ask you this, since you and I work together all the time, all throughout the year with PB&J's Lunchbox. Are you bringing back my shrimp tacos, or do I have to what do I have to do? Do I have to make it a public thing on my social media where I demand that they come back? What do I have to do?
Are you gonna protest out in front of the restaurant? Today we have the beef taco crunch wrap, and next week we'll probably have the bang bang shrimp ones.
So you're gonna bring back the shrimp tacos next week?
Yeah, I rotate them between the chicken, the shrimp, the beef crunch wrap, and steak tacos. Okay,
well, all I need to know is they're coming back, and I just need a date on it. That's it. So next Tuesday, I'm holding you to it. Christy heard it, and Christy and I will riot and this Saturday if it doesn't happen. So Christy, you got to be on my team for this. We have to hold Pat to her word. I know you like the buffalo chicken, but we're a team here. So you get your buffalo chicken, I get my shrimp tacos, and I'll be happy with it. Pat, can you tell us what's going to be on your truck at the food truck battle?
We're going to have the usual suspects, the grilled cheese, the grilled PB&Js. We do a sample platter with a half a grilled cheese, half a PB&J, and then a small order of Bang Bang Tots. But our sample is going to be the buffalo chicken wing dip tots this year.
Okay.
So getting my buffalo chicken dip out there and put it on the tots with a little hot sauce drizzled on it. It'll be good.
All right. So it's what were you saying, Christy?
it's chicken. What is it that I like so much? The buffalo
chicken wing dip. We do a grilled cheese with it.
So
the
the buffalo chicken wing dip with a grilled cheese with it. So, all right. So that's the thing though. We know you do the bang bang. We know you do the buffalo stuff. There's a lot of great things at PB&J's Lunchbox, 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. It's where friendships begin. It's where I met Lisa and Christy. So it's definitely more than a restaurant, and it's to me, it's a piece of the fabric of Central and Upstate New York, and it's so different and unique in and of itself for all the right reasons, and I blame Pat for that. So I think you should definitely come out and check it. Definitely come and check it out. 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York, and obviously the food truck for PB&J's Lunchbox going all over our community all throughout the year. And they say the food truck schedule stops in the winter, not for PB&J's Lunchbox. Pat was out dang near every single week through this entire winter, helping people out, feeding businesses all over our community. So we appreciate that tremendously, and I know that I do, and I know the people that have tried their food and gotten back to me about it have only told me positive things. So shrimp tacos next week. That's all I care about. Tuesday. So with that,
Dan, let me. Can I say one thing? I got Town of Salina is doing they got grant money to do the curb appeal of Old Liverpool Road, and we got some nice grant money that we're going to be doing some work on the building and stuff. So got something to look forward to. Going to kind of put shade over the deck and make a nice area for people to eat out there too. So I'd like to thank Town of Salina for bringing us that grant money to help out.
Yes, big shout out to Town of Salina, because what Pat has shown me she's planning on doing is really awesome, and I'm excited about it, and it's going to look really cool. So I'm excited for that all to come together and some great things to happen. Can't wait to see Christy again this weekend, and to complete our fast as of Saturday morning. So with that being said, let's jump into rapid fire here on Christy's Corner. It is a segment dedicated to the International Boxing Hall of Fame champ, but more than that, a fantastic person, someone who's become a good friend and who works so hard and so diligently. I mean, to me, I think she embodies America with the way that she fights, the way that she works, and what she does. I think for all the right reasons. I'm proud to have her here with us in this country and on this show and in this Christy's Corner segment, because there's something about her fight, her determination, her dedication, and it goes well beyond anything that Jim Martin had tried to do, and everything that Christy has done eclipses that above and beyond. So I'm just happy to know her, and I'm happy to be able to share her story, because she's very inspiring and she's a good person. So Christy, with that being said, I'm going to let you start rapid fire. We're going to go around and back. You get to ask Pat a question.
It was really for you. And my question for you made up, but I'll get to it. Okay, Pat.
Okay.
Pat. What's your favorite alcohol that would probably indulge in?
You were breaking up and I couldn't hear it.
Yeah, so Christy, you broke up for a second there. What was that?
Can you hear me, Pat?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, Pat. Your favorite alcoholic beverage that will Friday night?
Your favorite alcoholic beverage that you're going to share with Christy?
Well, I'm a Heineken light drinker or a Bailey's on the rocks. So we'll have to choose between those. But if you want Tito's, you can have Tito's.
Okay.
Go ahead.
She says you want to have the one that Jimmy had? Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Okay. So I love that. I love that name. I really do. Pat, what's your question? What's your question for me?
Let me think. Is there any food that you just can't stand to eat? Because you might get some at the food truck battle.
Tofu. That should have never been created. I don't know who did that to mankind. I don't know who pretended that it was a real thing. And so I would say Okay, so my aunt, God bless her, my aunt Donna, so my mom's sister, she made a tofurkey, and it came out of the oven, and I'll never forget this. It was bubbling and had all these like circles in it, and I was just like, huh? So yeah, no. So anything tofu related, I did go to a Chinese buffet years and years ago, and I thought it was chicken cubes, and so I picked it up and I bit it, and it like tasted like nothing, and it was tofu. So I kept the one I bit, and I pushed all the rest of it back onto the buffet. So I will not be eating tofu. Christy or Jean can have that for me. They can vote on it because my vote is no. And I don't care what it looks like. I don't care what they try to do to it or put on it. If you make tofu at the food truck battle, you are getting a healthy and respectful no from me, no matter what they do. So
Well, don't try feeding it to Champ. Champ can't have any people food.
yeah, no, I will not get no.
No people food for Champ.
This is how I think about it. I don't know Champ yet, but I like him enough to not give him tofu. So I would never do that to Champ. I would only give tofu to my wonderful, vast rogues gallery of ex-girlfriends. So with that being said, my question to Chris, now all the food trucks that have tofu are going to be like boycotting and being pissed off at me, but that's fine. I mean, why would you put tofu on a food truck anyways? You want people to eat your food. So, anywho.
But the vegetarians eat it.
No, I mean, listen, I have no problem with vegans and vegetarians. There's other choices. There's other choices beyond tofu. There's certain things people should never do. You shouldn't murder. You shouldn't steal. You shouldn't eat tofu. It's all the same. So, but with that being said, Pat created a monster right now. So I think I might show up at the food truck battle wearing a shirt that says tofu with like the non-smoking sign across it. I might do that. That might be my shirt of choice. So, all right, Christy, my question for you. And we apologize this morning. The Zoom signal's been kind of in and out, so we apologize if you haven't been able to hear all of it here. Christy, my question for you. I want to make it food related since we're doing the food truck battle together. So, what food would you eat off my plate, and what food would you pass to me?
I'm gonna just straight the buffalo. What that
The buffalo thing that Pat makes?
yes.
The buffalo
I
chicken
would-
grilled cheese.
Okay, so you'd steal that from me?
I would pass you anything with guacamole.
Okay. Which is fine because I'm Hispanic, so give me that guacamole. I'll take that.
Right?
All right, Christy, what's your question for me?
So is like your pets, the food thing. And first, I want to give a shout out to my mom too. My mom is she's at dialysis right now, so just want to say love you, Mom, and tell all the nurses. But my question for you, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. Tofu being like the least favorite.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to be the most chicken stuff? What are we looking for to taste?
I'm a barbecue connoisseur, so I always tell people that based on the music I listen to, which includes country, and based on the food that I eat, and the fact that I like women that have a southern twang, I feel like I was born in the South. And even though I was born in Syracuse, New York, a part of me feels like I was born in the South. So I would say I'm looking for barbecue. I'm looking for like pork, ribs, chicken. And I will tell people where it's at. Because if you say, oh, we got the best barbecue, blah, 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 and it's dry. If you tell me you're giving me barbecue something and I can't taste the barbecue, no. That's an absolute no. I'm gonna give it back to you. So I'm looking for barbecue. I'm looking for like some type of nacho. Pat, Pat nacho. So, but because Pat knows how to make my nachos, so I would say there's only two people in the world that can make my nachos, Pat Orr and me. And so I would say I'm looking for nachos. I'm looking for somebody who could do seafood well, and I'm also looking. So I'd be looking for shrimp, nachos, and anything barbecued. That would be my answer. And a shout out to everybody taking care of your mom, and prayers up to her and blessings to her that she has a speedy and healthy recovery and everything goes well, because we got to take care of the ones that we love. So definitely a big shout out to Christy's mom here. All right. My question for Pat. Oh boy here. Okay. All right, Pat. You have gotten to know me over the past couple years. I say to you that I'm doing my first Netflix special comedy tour, and I'm going to bring you on tour with me for a week to be my chef. What are the food, if you know my personality like I think you should, what are you cooking for me on my comedy tour?
It has to be multiple meals, right?
Yes.
Breakfast, I'd probably start out with a simple breakfast sandwich.
Okay.
Because they're just tasty and good. Other food, though, we got the grilled PB&J or the grilled PB and fluff. I'd probably bring those with me.
Okay.
We definitely do some nachos, whether it be for a meal or late night after your show.
That's the correct answer. Yes.
And, we could bring shrimp, and we could do multiple things with shrimp. We do the shrimp bang bang cots. Those are good.
Yeah.
And we could do the shrimp tacos. We could do crunch wrap. We could do, if we had a fryer, we could do the fried shrimp. Those are delicious too. But, I'd also bring some chicken and maybe some tenderloin, and keep it simple and multiple use of the food. So have a meal and then have a sandwich with it later or something. Keep it fresh.
All right. I like it. You're hired. So, Pat.
Great, thanks.
What'd you say, Christy?
I said now I'm nice and hungry.
Yeah, I'm starving in my studio right now. I am genuinely like outrageously hungry. And people say that to me on the show all the time. They're like, "Why do you describe this stuff at like PB&J's, for example?" They're like, "You're making me want to eat it." And if some people are out of town, they're like, "You're making me want to get in the car." I was like, "Then it's working." That's the whole point. I want to make you hungry. I want you to stand outside and pick it with me for shrimp tacos. Absolutely. So we got to bring them back. So, Pat, what's your final question for Christy?
Let's see. First of all, thank you for coming in for our food truck battle. People will understand why I brought you. They'll get it. But I think you're going to be handing out the belt to the winners in the food truck competition. And I was going to have you bring your belt with you.
Oh,
but
yeah.
you have this other package that you're bringing with you. And first time flying with Champ, I didn't want to make things any harder on you. But handing out the belts to the winners, what kind of encouragement or support would you say to them when they win? Will it be as important as when you won your championship belts? Some of these people are pretty competitive in their food stuff, so you should have some really good food to try, and it's going to be really hard to pick a winner, I think, but winning is going to be a tough thing for people. So what are you going to say to them when you give them that belt?
Don't rest just because you want to win. Defend this belt is the most important. Today, you have to work harder tomorrow to maintain that relationship. So keep working. Don't rest on your laurels.
Yep.
So defend the belt. I like that. And I do want to make a note of this really quick before we finish up here in Christy's Corner. International Boxing Hall of Famer Christy Salters Martin will be having an event this Friday, May 12th, ahead of the food truck battle. And so very excited about this. Primetime Boxing Academy and Coach Joe will welcome International Boxing Hall of Famer to Christy Martin to their event, and also Pat Orr, who has done an incredible job in the world of photography. The clinic will be structured into stretching, dynamic, warm-up, shadow boxing, bag work, as well as mitt work and boxing talk with Christy Salters Martin. That's going to be at the Syracuse Boxing and Primetime Academy, in the studio on 219 Southwest Street in Syracuse, New York, on the second floor. Again, this Friday, May 12th. Doors will open at 5:30. Clinic will begin at 6 and run about an hour. So a lot of good stuff coming up here, and happy to do that. Pat, why was it important to make sure we got Christy out to prime time to do this event, and what are your thoughts on the event or anything you want to add to it?
I thought it was important because, like, you know, the kids in the cities, they work hard. They, you know, prime time is trying to keep them straight and narrow and give them something to do and to be proud of, and teach them respect and stuff. And I personally haven't even met Joe yet, but just talking to him on the phone and seeing if it was something that he'd be interested in. The man has so much energy, and just he was so excited about it. And you know, the kids are going to look forward to it. The parents are going to be happy and stuff. So, you know, that's what Christy does best. She's a great speaker. You know, if you Google her and watch some of the speeches she's done, she talks naturally. It flows. It's not written up. It's not a script that she follows. She speaks from her heart. And when people listen, they're emotional about it because they know that she's speaking from her heart. And when she's with kids, she's very inspiring to them and stuff. And I think, you know, if kids are in a boxing gym and they're working out and Christy Martin's walking around and giving them tips, you know, about, oh, you're doing it this way, but maybe you should do it this way. Try turning over that punch or whatever. I think they're going to be thrilled, and they're going to remember it for their life. And that's what, you know, moments like that are important. They help them grow and, you know, give them hope.
Yeah. So once again, this event coming to you this Friday, May 12th, ahead of the food truck battle, Syracuse Boxing and Primetime Academy on 219 Southwest Street in Syracuse, New York, on the second floor. Doors open at 5:30. The event will begin at 6 o'clock and will feature International Boxing Hall of Famer Christy Salters Martin. Christy, as always, I appreciate you, but I get to say something differently that I haven't gotten to say in the last few weeks here, and that is that I'll see you in a few days.
So I'm looking forward to, thank you to Pat and PB&J for sponsoring this segment, and you do for me personally. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So for Christy, for Pat, for myself, Dan Tortora, this has been Christy's Corner. Pat, thank you. Look forward to seeing you soon, and I look forward to my shrimp tacos. And Christy, as always, thank you for everything.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, take care. So that coming once again inside of Christy's Corner, and Christy's Corner exclusive to you on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. And we can't thank you enough for being here with us on the broadcast. And we do apologize for some choppiness there on the feed. So I know that a bunch of stuff that Christy said came through. Some of it may have seemed cut up a bit, so we apologize for that as we were bringing her in live from Texas. So we do appreciate you connecting with us here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. We're going to take a quick step aside here on the broadcast. We'll be back, and coming up in just a little bit at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time, I will be joined by Levell Sanders, the head coach of the Binghamton Bearcats men's basketball team, and we'll be talking about a bunch of things, including the fact that his team has some new commitments, one of them being Symir Torrance in the transfer portal from Syracuse, going down I-81, an hour from Syracuse to Binghamton. Very excited about that and looking forward to covering him there. A lot of great stuff coming up here on Wake Up Call right after this. And we definitely appreciate you being here with us on the broadcast. So we thank you so much for being here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. Before we jump into the break, I do want to remind you that you can find us on all of your on the major social media channels. Of course, you go to Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, Twitter at Call DT, and Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. So however you're connecting with the show, we appreciate you for doing that. Appreciate you for being with us on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. I can't thank you enough for being a part of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So however you connect with the show, we thank you for connecting with us. Thank you for being with us. And thank you for spending time on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Once again, Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT, Twitter at Call DT, and Facebook at Wake Up Call DT. So however you're with us, thank you so much for being with us Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville beats. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career. It's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of this fantastic week, and so happy to have you here where sports meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora through all of our channels that you're connected with us on youtube.com and facebook.com, both /wakeupcalldt, and of course on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. So however you're connected to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, we thank you for being here. And we appreciate you every single Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And, of course, beyond that, as we are here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on all of our social media, Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, Twitter at Call DT, and Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. So however you're connected with us, thank you for being here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. In just a couple minutes, very excited that we have Levell Sanders going to be joining us here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Always look forward to having Levell on the broadcast, and some great things happening with the Binghamton Bearcats, a men's basketball team, and very much looking forward to speaking with Levell about that, including the fact that Symir Torrance is going down Interstate 81 and going to be joining the Bobcats of Binghamton after spending his last couple seasons at Syracuse with their basketball team. So very much looking forward to this and very excited. Officially signed, we have Symir Torrance heading to the Binghamton Bearcats, and signed on as well. They've brought in some other players here that I'm really excited about. Gavin Walsh, who's coming in from Baltimore, Maryland, and IMG Academy, and these all being declared here, signed just a little bit ago here. And then Chris Walker, who's coming in as well from Wellington, Florida, Wellington High School. And so we're going to be talking with Levell about all these players, and then grabbing somebody from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And so Taimu Shanery is going to be joining the show, or going to be spoken about as well in this. So very excited for all that's coming up here with the Binghamton Bearcats, and very much looking forward to having Levell on the broadcast here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora to speak about all of his signees and the future of the program, and why they went after the players they went after, and what he believes he'll get from that. And of course, we'll spend some good time talking about Symir Torrance, who's coming from Syracuse. Big fan of Cy, have been a big fan of Cy since he made the decision to, when he was coming back to Syracuse, him and I caught up and we spoke on the show, and we've been in touch ever since then. And through his couple seasons at Syracuse, we spent a lot of time talking with each other. So I appreciate him tremendously, and always look forward to having him on the show. And Cy is going to be joining us on Thursday, so make sure you pay attention to that. Symir Torrance going to be on Wake Up Call Live on Thursday, and Levell Sanders, the head coach of the team, going to be joining me here for the Binghamton Bearcats in just a few moments. So we'll take a step aside, and we'll come back here with Levell Sanders right after this. Avicolli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicolli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student-athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicolli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there. And of course, you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100. And also find them on myavicollis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying, in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout Central and Upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. This is a special message from 317 at Montgomery restaurant owner Joel Carpenter. Open Tuesday through Saturday for your dining pleasure on 317 Montgomery Street in Syracuse, New York.
We wanted to be a part of the resurgence of Syracuse. We saw a lot of money being put into bringing people back downtown and thought that, we'd like to be a part of that. I love putting together a good dish where people see it first, they fall in love with it, and then it tastes just as good as it looks. We want to provide the best food in Syracuse that we possibly can, and we want you to leave here talking to your family, your friends about what you had to eat first and foremost, but also our service, and to walk out feeling like you're part of our family. I work out in the front of the house a lot, and I love walking to every single table, asking them how everything is, and people looking at me and smiling and saying, this is the most amazing short rib I've ever had. This is the most amazing filet I've ever had. And Donna is great. Sarah's amazing. Thank you for coming over and talking to us. And them just being truly happy for the experience that they've gotten.
317 at Montgomery Restaurant, part of the fabric of downtown Syracuse, located on 317 Montgomery Street in Syracuse, New York. Open Tuesday through Saturday for a unique and memorable dining experience. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of this wonderful week that we have here set up for you. We appreciate you being here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and you're finding us on all of our channels worldwide, up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and around the globe on YouTube.com, Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. It is my honor and my privilege to have the guests that I've been proud to have on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and one of those guests that I always look forward to bringing back onto the show, Mr. Levell Sanders, joining me here where sports meets life on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, the Binghamton Bearcats men's basketball head coach, and someone who on and off the court I appreciate very much so. So with that being said, we are picture in picture with Mr. Sanders. Levell, how are we doing today?
What's up, Dan, man? How you doing?
I'm doing very well. First and foremost, congratulations on those signees. It looks like you've been a little bit busy here in the off season.
Yeah, every coach is in the same boat at this time of year right now. The way college athletics is going, you have so many scholarships now that you have to fill at the end of the year. And so, we had 6. We really had 8, but we signed 2 high school kids in the fall. So we had 6 scholarships that we needed to fill. And it's not something that you just want to rush and do. You want to make sure you're getting, the right people. That's the most important. All of these kids can play, but you need to find, the right mix of guys. Coach Johnson always talks about, we don't necessarily need like the best players, but we just got to find the right guys that fit together, right? And so that's what we look for. So, we still have 1 scholarship left. We've signed 5 guys so far, so we still have some work to do. But for the most part, it's almost behind us because we have identified, the last scholarship. We've identified a few guys that we like, and now it's just a process of waiting a little bit. We got a couple of visits coming up soon, so we should be all wrapped up pretty soon.
And when you look at that, when you, like you said, you have that 1 scholarship left, and you're looking for that final piece for the upcoming season of 2023-24. What do you think that final piece entails for you? What's that last thing that you want to make sure you lock up?
We're always looking for, as a basketball player, we're looking for versatility. Mm-hmm. So we look for guys that can do multiple things on the floor, play multiple positions. We look for guys that can defend, because we want to be a team that's known, as a team that really defends. And we needed to add some shooting to our roster. And so, we're looking for someone who can kind of fit all those things, which, sometimes you have to compromise on some things. But that's what we're looking for. And like I said, I think we've identified some guys that can kind of fit that role. And so now it's just a matter of, seeing which one is the best fit for us, seeing, which kid we can get into school, seeing which kid wants to be a Bearcat, all those kind of things. So that's where we at right now.
And when you're going through this process of recruiting, do you find the excitement? I mean, people talk about the stress of it and the transfer portal, and we'll get into that in a little bit because I know that you've utilized it as a coach. Is it still fun? Is it exciting? Do you have kind of, do you get kind of like invigorated by it? Does it bring a certain type of energy for you? I mean, how do you tackle recruiting?
I mean, you have to be, right. It's probably like one of the most important things as a coach, right? Because you have to be able to every year, constantly get new and fresh and exciting players, student athletes in your program. And so, if that's something you don't enjoy, then, I know a lot of coaches, they, especially head coaches, they might leave it to their assistants to do this and do that. And our assistants really, network and go out and, recruit and keep in contact with all different type of people. But I also want to be the one who's out there, getting in contact with people, and because it's all about relationships, who you know. It's about how you treat kids that's in your program that have connections with other, AU programs, high school coaches. So all of those things kind of come into play, but you have to. It has to be something that you want to do because it's so important. You just can't leave it to chance. So you have to be involved. So yeah, and recruiting is. I mean, I like recruiting. I like being out on the road. As much as I like being with my guys. That's in the program. Right now, pretty much everybody's going home in a day or two, right? And so finals are going to be done. You're going to have some graduation, guys are going to be leaving, and so nobody's going to be here. And so it really gives you an opportunity to kind of dive into that stuff. So yeah, it's something that you have to accept and know that, recruiting is like the lifeblood of your program. And if you're not recruiting, then you're not really running a program. So, I enjoy it.
The transfer portal, NIL, and everything else that's, kind of come with that. has that changed the way that you have to tackle things? Has it been frustrating? I mean, what are some words to describe these last, couple of years of dealing with NIL, the extra COVID year, and transfer portal? Because it's made, with student athletes getting an extra season with COVID, that's obviously changed the game on some things and some preparation that you've had to have as a coach and coaches around the country. And then NIL plays a role in it. It wasn't supposed to be used to lure a student athlete to a place, but obviously it has been used many times for that case. And the transfer portal has created kind of a free agency NBA type of feel. So how has all of this, through the eyes of Levell Sanders, what has that done to recruiting?
You know what? I think a lot of things that's going on right now has always been going on, right? And so I don't think things have changed. The only thing that's changed is that it's kind of the NCAA made a way for institutions to kind of do it legally, even though they're doing it illegal. But yeah, so things haven't really changed much. Now you kind of know the numbers and you know how much this kid is getting and that kid is getting. But number one, I'm all for NIL, done the right way. I think, I wish I was playing right now to be able to capitalize on some NIL. Yeah. But I'm all for it. I think, I'm happy that kids are able to make money off their name, image, and likeness. I do think that, what's happening now though is not really what was intended.
Yeah.
But I think you have to be able to adjust and adapt. That's life in general, right? And so when things are going a certain way, you have to be able to adjust and adapt. And then I think that's what all of the coaches are doing right now. The transfer portal, I think the transfer portal is also good. If you are able to transfer and go play somewhere and you want to do that, I'm all for. I always tell kids, even when we have kids that go into the transfer portal, I just want to make sure that the kids are doing what they believe is best with some guidance from parents or coaches or whoever is guiding them. Yeah. But who am I to be upset that a kid thinks that Binghamton is not right for him or her and they want to, transfer and go to another place? You look at a kid like Kellen Amos, who was on our team and he transferred, went to Central Connecticut, and he was like second team all conference. He played well. That's a great move for him, right? And when he came to talk to me about transferring, I was like, listen, you got to make the decision you believe is best for you. And so I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Of course, there's not every kid is a success story, but I don't think that we should be, as coaches, upset or mad that a kid wants or thinks that another opportunity is going to be better for him. And I know for us at Binghamton, as you said, we utilize the transfer portal because it helps us, be able to get kids into school that normally we probably wouldn't be able to get into Binghamton. So it's worked well for us. I mean, it does create a lot more work because, as I said, traditionally or in years past, even 3-4 years ago, you weren't having six scholarships available, at the end of the season. Yeah. It's even like in terms of recruiting and budget and all of those things, like, normally at this time of year, you don't have to host a ton of kids. I do feel bad for the high school kids. I was talking to a parent last night, and it was just about that. Like, the kid is a good player, high school kid, but I said, we already signed 3 high school kids. We probably not going to take another. Nothing against your son. Not saying he's not a Division I basketball player, but just like for us right now, we're not going to take another high school kid. So I think a lot of high school kids are getting kind of the short end of a stick. But again, this is how life is, and when things are going a certain way, something comes in and you have to be able to adjust and adapt and move this way, move that way. So that's what we're doing right now. And I think, again, the coaches or the programs that can figure this thing out is the ones that's going to be successful.
Coming here from Levell Sanders, Binghamton Bearcats men's basketball head coach, this morning on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Like you said, when you have that conversation, that example with a high school kid and saying, hey, it's not that you're a bad player. We're just not going to take another high school kid right now. If you were in high school today, like if you could go back, well, let me put it to you like this. If you were speaking at a high school right now, what would you say to those kids of any sport, not just basketball, because of the transfer portal, because of the fact that there's a balance? Some teams are going heavy transfer portal, all transfer portal, 50-50. Some aren't using it as much at all. I mean, there's different programs doing different things. What would be your advice to a high school student athlete who is talented, who is good, who does have their grades right, but is just feeling like they're hitting a brick wall all the time because of the transfer portal?
I would tell them that to take some of these coaches up on their offers. And so, a lot of times you get an offer and everybody wants to wait and see. Everybody wants to get a bigger offer or a better offer. Then it comes the end of the year and then all of a sudden those offers are not there. So I would tell kids, if I was speaking to high school kids right now, I would just say, listen, when you get an offer, do your due diligence as fast as possible and take that offer, because it might not be there next week or next month or even the next day, especially for a high school kid. So I think that's important for them to understand, is that when they do get offers, do their due diligence, check it out, and then, make a decision. Then also, the other thing I would say is that don't get so caught up and wrapped up on which division you're playing at. If somebody's offering you a scholarship, if it's a Division II, take it, because nowadays, coaches from the Division I level are taking a lot of Division II guys. They're taking even some Division III guys. And so don't get caught up in what level you're playing at. Just take the scholarship, because at the end of the day, you're going to have an opportunity to get a free education. Even if you at the Division II level and you never get a chance to go to Division I level, you will have a career. You will be able to, after, get a job. You will be able to make relationships. Everything you did you could do at the Division I level, you can do at the Division II level or Division III level. So, and I know they don't give scholarships in Division III, but again, that would be my message to high school kids right now.
No, and I appreciate that, because I feel like some people might have that feeling of being stuck, but I like your angle of saying, hey, you get an offer and they're like, yeah, let's see what else I get. Let's wait. And, some people kind of get caught up in it, right? Instead of looking for those opportunities and looking for, where they can advance themselves, where they can get an education as well, because that seemed to go by the wayside in certain cases. So for you as a coach, when, you've utilized the transfer portal and like you said, you're bringing in a couple people from high school, how do you view it? Is every year different when you kind of tackle the percentage of going transfer portal wise to high school? I mean, how do you kind of use it from year to year? And do you have, like, with your coaching staff, do you say, this is kind of our vision and our mission and our plan, or is that an adjustable plan based on what's out there and the connections that you made and what you like? If you need a center, do you say, okay, you know what, of the high schools we've talked to and the places where we have a lot of great bridges, there's not a guy that I'm in love with, so I'm going to go to the transfer portal? I mean, is it on a case-by-case basis, or is there kind of a plan where some coaches say, hey, we go 50-50? So I'd love to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah. For us, we look at it in terms of like experience. And so this year, for example, we signed 2 high school guards, and then we had a kid that's going to be a sophomore next year. And so we said that, well, we don't want to bring in any more young guards, because we have a sophomore and we're going to have 2 freshmen, right? So we're going to have 3 young guys, and the freshman kid that's going to be a sophomore, he didn't really play much this year. So for us, it's an experience thing. So now we wanted to kind of surround those three guys or blend those three guys with some more experience, right? Um, and that's how we look at it. We look at it from in terms of like experience and what we have. And so, we have a guy that's going to be a senior, a big guy. And we didn't really bring in a big guy, but when we were looking at it, we were like, okay, well, we have a senior. So yeah, we could bring in a freshman kid at this position, right? And so a lot of it is with us is this experience because the way college basketball is now, you have guys that are 23, 24 years old that's playing. And if you have a team of 23, 24-year-olds playing against 18 and 19-year-olds, it's a clear advantage, clear advantage. And so you have to I think, adjust it. You can't we don't want to have just an old group or we were kind of bringing guys this year. We didn't want to bring in a lot of guys that had 1 year to play, right? We wanted to bring in guys that had multiple years because, one of the things that we're talking about is, when you're trying to build a program and if you have every year just, 8 or 9 guys coming in and out, like this year we're bringing in 8 guys from like a 13-man roster, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of kids to bring in. So, we want to have some of those guys that will have, multiple years. So now we can kind of have some kind of continuity with some of those freshman guys that's going to come in and have 3 or 4 years to play if they don't transfer, right? So, you got to kind of mix and match it. Again, everybody probably does things a little bit differently, but for us, we try to look at the experience factor and we try to blend it. Again, we are talking about, right now we know we're going to have, right now we have a minimum of 4 scholarships next year, right? And so we're going to have to bring in 4 guys. Now, again, that sophomore guard will be a junior. Those freshmen will be sophomores. So we could probably bring in 1 or 2 high school kids, at that position, but then have to, again, add some older guys. So it's just a matter of where your roster at, how guys perform during the year. Because the other thing is, it's a lot of times you might think something, you might believe the kid can do this, can do that, but then you come and you start playing and you realize, well, he can't do this or he can do this. And so then you change kind of how you're going to recruit next year. We can have a guy that comes in as a freshman and is great, right? If he doesn't transfer and he comes back, then okay, you know what? Well, we don't have to bring in an older guy now because we know this kid can handle that role that he's going to be in, right? And so, it's kind of constantly changing. I don't think, you can kind of have one set way of doing things now because things change. Guys leave, guys come. Yeah. It's so fluid right now. And so you have to be able to adjust and adapt. But that's kind of how we look at the transfer portal.
And with your recent signees here, looking at kind of area as well, where you have guys coming in who call Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania home, Wellington, Florida, as well as Baltimore, Maryland, and Syracuse, New York. What is Binghamton, becoming to you, and that willingness to go out there and get that talent from wherever they call home, wherever their connections may be? What can you say about, kind of building Binghamton's brand as a national and in some cases international brand when you're out there recruiting and trying to build these inroads?
Yeah, again, a lot of it is just connection, right? Like a lot of our coaches, myself, have connections certain places. And so, we might, like Coach Johnson Coach Johnson's from the DMV. And so, a lot of his connections are in the DMV, right? So he gets a lot of kids from that area. Coach Norris loves recruiting Philly, right? In the Philadelphia area. And so he's down there a lot. And Coach Marlin is kind of all up and down the East Coast. And so a lot of it is just your connection. Again, I think with a school like Binghamton, because of our academic profile, we have to cast a wide net because, if we just cast a narrow net, we might not be able to get a lot of those kids in school. And so our net has to be a lot wider than maybe other institutions. We definitely would like to start recruiting some international kids. because I think we're an appealing university because a lot of the international kids are really strong academically. And so I'm pretty sure that they would enjoy a place like Binghamton. And so that's kind of, when you talk about building our brand, we really go where our connections lead us, and a lot of times, like I said, it could be anywhere. We were, for a while, we were getting a lot of kids from Texas, because Coach Goodman, who was here, had a nice connection out in Texas, right? We get a lot of kids from the Philadelphia area, so yeah, it's not, we don't. I don't think we really kind of say we're not going to recruit this area, not going to recruit this area. A lot of it is based on connections and where we can find some inroads with kids, with coaches, with different programs. But again, it's all connection and network based.
And in those connections in that network that you have of the 4 signees that you just had here recently, Quinnipiac, Little Rock transfer, Syracuse transfer, and IMG Academy. I've spent a lot of time with Cy, so I want to go to him last here. But of your other 3 signees that you just had recently here, I would love to get your take on, who you brought in here with Taimu, as well as with Chris and with Gavin. Just your thoughts on why they were the right fit for Binghamton.
One day, I think, when we always talk about what kind of players we like to recruit, first thing I said was we like versatile players, and all of those guys are versatile, can play multiple. They will play multiple positions. They will guard multiple positions, and so I just think that for us is really appealing when we looking for student athletes. They're really good dudes. Getting a chance to know them over the recruiting process. Taimu, he really reminded me of a kid that we have here in our program already, Aman Harid. Really strong academically, driven. We talked a lot about like real estate, stocks. It wasn't even a lot of the stuff wasn't even basketball. You can talk so much basketball, but we had a lot of other things in common. So that was really appealing, talking to him and then getting a chance to know their families. But he's a guy that, especially Taimu, just talking to him, I love his competitiveness. He always wants to guard the other team's best player. He just kind of fits that mold of what we like in basketball players and student athletes. Chris is, a guy that are real versatile. I mean, he has great size. Like when I finally saw Chris in person, because a lot of times, people are listed at 6'6", and they coming in closer to 6'4". He's a legit 6'6". I mean, he can shoot the basketball. He has great size. Like his body is, he's a really good defender. And so, he kind of just checks all the boxes that you look for. And then, we were recruiting Gavin last year. Gavin came to visit, and kind of stayed in contact and kind of lost a little bit of contact. And then the one thing when he kind of got back in contact with us and he wanted to have a Zoom call, the one thing that I really liked that he said was that he wasn't ready to go to college last year, and so he went to prep school, right? And he went with a goal in mind, and he really accomplished his goals. He really used his prep year to prep himself for college, college life. And he slimmed down, he toned his body up, he became a more consistent shooter. Like all of the things that he wanted to do, he really did. And now he really feels he can be able to come and make an impact. And we really believe he's going to make an impact because, again, just a versatile kid that can play multiple positions, a really good student. I mean, he was getting courted by Ivy Leagues, by Patriot Leagues, by, some really top academic type schools. And so, we know he'll be able to fit in here. He got into our school of management, which was one of the top management, school of management. It's one of the top schools in the country for business. So he really did an excellent job on preparing himself. So we look forward to him. So yeah, those 3 guys, and then we got another commit that happened, while the article was going out. Nehemiah Benson from Ryder, committed. And he's another 6'7", that kind of versatile guy that can play multiple positions. And the one thing that I like about all of these guys is that a lot of them kind of feel that they didn't really have the opportunity to kind of show what they are able to do. And so they're going to be hungry. And now it's our job to kind of get them to be able to play as a team, do things together. That's the next thing. But like everybody's coming in with a chip on their shoulder, felt like they haven't reached their potential. And so now it's our job to get them there.
Levell Sanders, Binghamton Bearcats men's basketball head coach, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Symir Torrance, somebody I've gotten to know over these past few years, Syracuse native, came back to Syracuse after spending a couple seasons at Marquette. In my opinion, he's a true point guard. He's a guy who told me flat out the first time we did an interview, I'm coming back home. I want to look for everybody else. Like, yeah, if I need to shoot, I'll shoot, but I want to be a floor general. I want to deliver. I don't feel like he ever got to have that, to truly be put in a role where he could dictate and be a true point guard. I was happy to have him in Syracuse, happy to have him home, but sad that I felt like we really didn't get to see Cy. So I'd love to get your thoughts on how your relationship began with Symir Torrance and what you envision for him at Binghamton.
Yeah, the funny thing is that when he was transferring from Marquette, I reached out to him also at that time. It would have been my first year as the head coach here. I had Tyler Bertram was here playing with us, and they had played together at Vermont Academy, and so they had a relationship. And so when he went in the portal, Tyler was like, "Yo, we get Symir, we gonna win the championship," So I'm like, "All right, let's make it happen," So I called him a couple times, and he big time me, So then when he went to the portal, I mean, I reached out to him the first day he goes in the portal. I reached out to him, and again he big time me. Took him some time to get back to me, but I just think that the experiences he had at Marquette and Syracuse, he wanted something a little bit different. And one thing that I like what you said, and the thing that I really like about his game is, and what we really need is a true point guard. And so I'm super excited about being able to have him on our team, because, and I said this about him, I just think that his teammates are going to love playing with him. And I think he's going to be that kind of point guard where, and everybody's told me this, like he thinks more about others than he thinks about himself. But I think that's what a point guard should do, right? Like I played the point guard position, and my mindset was always to try to get my guys going. And I really believe he has the ability to do that. I mean, he has great size. He's a legit 6'3", long arms. And so there's going to be a lot of different ways we're going to be able to use him offensively and defensively. It's funny. I just see a text message from him just now as we're talking. But I'm really excited about what he's going to be able to bring to the program. And to me, it's not about him being at Syracuse and everybody says, "Hey, congratulations, man! You got the big recruit, the big commit from the kid from Syracuse." And we're all looking at it. Everybody's looking at it from like a name perspective, right? Like it's Syracuse, but I'm not worried about that. I'm not. That's not my concern. My concern is being able to get him. And I told him this when one of the first time I talked to him. A lot of times when guys come down a level, right, and they come down and they think that, okay, well, now I'm going to be at Binghamton and now I'm going to be able to score 20 points a game, right? But that's not what it's about. It's about winning and you being able to play a role to help the team win.
Yeah.
One of the first things that I really like about what he said when I asked him kind of some of his strengths and weaknesses, first thing he said was like, "Coach, I'm a winner," and that's what I want, because you don't get that a lot. Like a lot of times that'll be the third or fourth thing that kids will say after they talk about how good their jump shot is or how well they can handle the ball,
yeah,
or how good of a passer they are. But one of the first things he said was like, "Coach, I'm a winner," and so that is what we need. We need a guy that's going to come and make winning plays, be a leader. He's going to be a fifth-year guy. And so he's going to have the opportunity to lead us, and I'm looking forward to it. So our relationship is good. We text all the time. He was out in Milwaukee, last week, I think, working out, and we were texting. I just told him that, we need to start talking about some of the stuff we're going to do offensively and defensively, and just having that open dialogue and relationship, because he has to be an extension of me as the point guard, and we have to kind of be on the same page. So, and also I think I know he's a really good defender. And one of the things that I was like, man, you play zone, you can't defend. And he was like, yeah, coach, but on my side of the zone, there wasn't a lot of scoring going on when I was in the game, So he takes pride in defense, which I like, and so I'm excited.
You said he big timed you a couple times. You joke with him about that?
No, I will more though once he get here,
So, and you said, obviously point guard. I said point guard. You said point guard. He really didn't get to be the player that he told me he wanted to be when he was at Syracuse. Is the vision from day one of this season's team that he is your general?
It's funny because when I was recruiting him, of course he wanted the opportunity to come in and play a lot of minutes, and so I told his parents that I don't like to promise guys that they're going to start or do this or do that. I like to say there's going to be an opportunity. We definitely not bringing guys, transfers in, especially a guy to have 1 year to sit on the bench. And so I anticipate that he is going to play a lot and have a big role for us. But we do have a kid here that's going to be a sophomore. I told him when we kind of did our exit interviews at the end of the year that he should be coming back with the mentality that he's coming to start, right? And so I just think that healthy competition is going to be good for the team. But again, I anticipate that Cy will have a great opportunity to play and be a big focal point for the team.
How would you define? Yeah, I know you talked about his play and some different things about his defense and whatnot, but what do you see in him? Like you said, when you played the game and you understand what it's like to be in the backcourt, what is it about him that would be an adequate description of his talents as a general? Are there things that you can kind of pull out as a former player and as a coach now that you really pinpoint and say, these are the things that I want, that I think Cy is going to bring me that's different?
Yeah, I think it's just the intangibles. It's some of the basic little things that point guards do that not all point guards do. Like when you watch him play, something as subtle as just the way he advances the ball up the floor. Like if you want to play fast and you want to be a team that gets out in transition and run, if you have a guard or guards that never throw the ball ahead, then it becomes hard for you to be a team that runs because one guy is just kind of holding the ball all the time. But like he does that really well. Like he'll take 1 or 2 dribbles and boom, it's out of his hands. And now he's giving his teammate opportunity to attack in transition, attack in space where, most of the time offense have the advantage. Just some of the subtle passes that he makes, sometimes the way he just crosses the floor and kind of manipulate the defense. It's just like little things like that I think a lot of people might not pick up on. When I watch him, that's what I pick up on. And again, the things that I really think we need, or not just we need, but I think that, if you want to have, I think the way the game is now, most of the point guards they're considering themselves scoring point guards. Yeah. But like not every team needs that, and, I think the way we build in our team, where we have guys on the wing. And I'm not saying, and this is what I always try to explain, I'm not saying that he's not going to score because just by being on the floor, you're going to score naturally, right? But I don't think that, and just from knowing him and talking to people, like that's not going to be the first thing on his mind is for him to score, right? Yeah. I was talking to people and they were telling me, he comes in the game, end of the game, and he's trying to get the guy that's a walk-on. He's trying to get him an open 3-point shot. Usually guys come in the game at the end of the game they trying to score. They're trying to get theirs, right? But like he's even in those moments, he's looking to get other guys a shot. And so I think that unselfishness that your point guard have, it kind of trickles down to everybody on the team. And so yeah, I'm just little, like I said, little things like that I see he does on the basketball floor is, I think it's going to make us and help our team become better, because I always believe that your chemistry, your team chemistry is built on the offensive end, because if everybody's sharing the ball and making an extra pass, it's going to be a lot of fun and joy to play on that team. But if you got a bunch of guys that's out there just trying to get theirs, not passing the ball to guys when they're open, not throwing the ball inside when guys have seals, then those guys are not going to run back as hard on defense. Those guys are not going to rebound. They're not going to go offensive rebound, right? Like they're going to be pouting and sulking, and now everybody's going to be, upset. But when the ball is moving and everybody's playing together, the team chemistry is so much better.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to describe it. I think and you see it immediately. Levell Sanders here, Binghamton Bearcats men's basketball head coach. You've been great about answering my questions. We're going to play some rapid fire to round things out here. You always come across very even keel, just that even emotion. So my job right now is to get you to laugh a little bit. So I'm going to see what I could do here with Levell. But you get the first question. So whatever you got for me, go ahead.
So hold on. So I have to ask the question?
Yeah, so we're going to ask back and forth. And the reason why I don't say anything beforehand about this is I want it to be like in the moment, rapid fire. So you can ask me anything you want to ask me. It can be basketball or it could be something else.
First job you had?
Ooh. Mowing lawns at 10 years old. First job was the grandstand at the New York State Fair. And I got to see all the concerts for free because I counted the tickets. So I saw BB King. So I was there for BB King and all of that, like everybody he brought. Reba McEntire, Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys, Journey, Tim McGraw, Faith Hill, Brooks and Dunn, Kenny Chesney.
What was this, late 90s?
So this was, let me think here. I was 14 going on 15. So that would have put me at right around like 2000. Yeah, late 90s. Okay. Into 2000. I was in high school.
Okay.
So yeah, I got to see some great stuff. All right, let me think here, Levell. All right, Levell. 2-part question. Number 1, favorite comedian. Number 2, if you could do anything with that comedian, what would you do and why?
Favorite comedian is Martin Lawrence,
Okay.
for sure.
Okay.
If I could do anything with that comedian, I would bring him to our team and have him roast some of our guys.
Who do you think he could roast the best? Who's the guy or guys that you think it would just be easy for Martin?
Well, Tavion, we always tell Tavion that he looks like one of Martin Lawrence's characters.
Okay.
So I think Tavion would be a good one. And then I also think Tariq would be a good one.
So you think that Tavion looks like one of Martin Lawrence's characters? What character do you think he looks like?
What was the guy name? He had the snotty nose on Martin. Was it Roscoe? Roscoe. I think it was Roscoe. Yeah, we always say he looked like Roscoe.
All right, so I'm gonna pick this up right now and take a look. So Tavion, I'm looking at a picture of Tavion. Now we're gonna look up Roscoe from.
I think it's Roscoe.
All right, let's see here. Let's see if I can pull up a picture of Roscoe. So okay, so I think I want to bring up a picture right now, and so let me get it here for us. Oh my goodness, if you think he looks like this, bless his heart. But let me bring up Roscoe here for Martin Lawrence, and I gotta do it in the moment because we gotta see what we're talking about. So here's the picture of Roscoe that I'm gonna bring in that Levell said Tavion looks like. So here's Roscoe. We bring in Roscoe. This is the picture we're looking at.
Mm.
Is that who you're talking about?
Yep.
Okay, and now I'm going to bring in a picture of Tavion. So, now does his nose run in
Minus
practice?
minus the snotty nose.
Okay, but I mean, is this something that, like, does his nose run in practice?
No, that's why I said minus the snotty
Okay,
nose.
minus the snotty nose. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know if that
He,
was
he
that
just
was,
he just has that look,
all
And I
right.
think Coach Mullen is the one that started it. But as soon as he said it, I'm like, oh man, yeah, yes, he did. He looks like him. And I think especially when he has like the kind of the low haircut, I think he's kind of growing his hair now. But when he has like the low haircut in the ear, yeah, there you go.
So here we go. So let's bring these up here. Can y'all see?
And it's the ears, everything.
Yeah, I can see that if I got to get him to look up or mimic some of this, but
Right,
so
right.
Martin Lawrence,
And some of his mannerisms too is just he's a funny kid. He's a funny kid.
so there we go. We got Tavion and Martin Lawrence, and that's what we have the comparison for. So I like that. Okay, what's your next question for me?
How many siblings do you have?
So that's an interesting question because I have 0 biological siblings. However, I have a lot of people that I refer to as my brothers. So Ross, Johnny, Joey, Rob, Isaac, Jason, to name a few. Those are guys I consider my brothers, and all of them that have children, I'm considered like Uncle Dan. So I'm either a godfather or an uncle to their kids. So they think of me as their father's brother, and that's how I treat them. So I'd like to say that I have many brothers, but in a very cool and unique way, we chose each
Right.
other instead of being born into it. So,
Got it.
yeah, I got a good family. So my question for you, Levell. If somebody were to roast you and it wasn't Martin Lawrence, who do you feel like could get you and that you would want to roast back? So if you got to do a roast off, who's going to be
Right.
roasting Levell Sanders and that you think you could get back?
I'm not a good roaster, but I would like probably like Jamie Foxx or Kevin Hart,
Okay.
just because I think they're really good. They're really good at it. And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be a good roaster, but they would be really good at roasting me, I'm sure.
Okay. Fair enough. What's your final question?
What is a goal that you have for 2023 is ending, but like what's a future goal of yours in terms of career wise?
Well, I think, for this year, venturing out into the screenwriting, more of that storytelling, comedy, stand-up world, to go deeper into that world or to enter into those worlds. I would say those are goals right now. I would say the future, with the people that I brought into my company with Ross and Brendan and Joe and Rob, Isaac, Christy, potentially some other people, we're building a team. And my vision for Dan Tortora Broadcast Media was to build a network. And and Andrea as well. And so we just took a segment and turned it into its own show. So 2 mics, no filter, dating, relationships, life conversation between Andrea and I, to Wake Up Calls sports show, to Superpowered Pops Entertainment, to Do Diz with Dan's Disney show and planning Disney trips for people having worked there. And then Comic Book Trails, where I go on the road and I go to comic book and collectible places, and I really get to get a pulse for like so many different towns and cities around the country. What I'm building is very tangible now, and it's very real, and the team of people that I have are very good, and a lot of them come from my alma mater of Marywood University. So I like the fact that I have the opportunity to kind of put a spotlight on the people that I got to know so many years ago and give them an opportunity. And so I would say, you know, the vision is to jump into a lot of places where maybe people don't know me in those places, and at the same time to continue to build the brand. And, you know, if you want me to be truthful, which I always am, you and I talked about this off the air, you see a Lemoyne thing that's over my shoulder here. I want a Bearcat, and the Brian and Stratton that's here too. I want a Bearcat in the studio too. I would say that. So my last one for you, Levell. If you could go on a vacation right now with your family anywhere, money's not an issue, nothing is an issue. You got a private jet waiting for you at the Binghamton airport. Where are you going?
I'm going where my wife say we going. But I probably would say the Maldives.
Okay.
You know, I see a lot of, you know, I see a lot online about that place. So I think that probably would be, I mean, we've been to a lot of places. We've, you know, we take a lot of vacations. We've taken a lot of vacations in the past, especially when I was playing overseas and I was coaching overseas. You know, when you have like that two months free, you know, where, you know, you're not doing anything. Now, you know, you don't ever have 2 months free, right? You're always doing something as a college basketball coach. But so we've had opportunity to go to a lot of places, but I would say that's probably, it's probably where.
I liked your initial answer. I'm going where my wife says I'm going.
Yeah, I mean, that's just how it is, right? Like she's gonna probably choose the place, and I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, that's nice, let's go, you know. So I'm pretty sure that's how it would be, you know.
Fair enough. I like it. Well, with that being said, Levell Sanders, Binghamton Bearcats, men's basketball head coach, a lot of signees, and I feel good about the upcoming future of this men's basketball program for 2023, 2024, and beyond. They're in good hands with Levell Sanders. Levell, I appreciate you as always, appreciate the extended time today, and I look forward to talking with you very soon. And I look forward to some playful razzing with you and Cy once he gets into town.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I always enjoy coming on. Thanks for having me on, and definitely look forward to getting him and the rest of the guys here. We start in July.
Yeah,
we'll all be here for second summer session, so we'll get to work, and look forward to having a really good year next year.
Yeah, definitely would love the opportunity to come down and get to meet the guys and just kind of be a sponge and see it. So, you know, I love this game more than a lot of things. So definitely looking forward to seeing what you're bringing in, and would love to come down there and just get to watch it as it comes together.
Definitely. You're always welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate that. With that being said, Levell Sanders, Binghamton Bearcats. Check out more information by going online, of course, and, of course, heading down 81 to Binghamton. As always, Levell, thank you for your time.
Thanks, Dan.
And coming here from Levell Sanders one more time. The program is in good hands thanks to guys like Levell, and so happy to have him in Binghamton, and very spoiled to have him in the Southern Tier and in upstate New York. We're going to take our final step aside of today's broadcast. We'll be back momentarily here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora with plenty more where sports meets life. So we thank you for being here with us on youtube.com, facebook.com, and mixlr.com, all /wakeupcalldt. However you're connected with the show. Can't thank you enough for being a part of the broadcast here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and really do appreciate all the time that you spend here with us, and wherever you are in central and upstate New York, down in Florida, our second home, as well as Pennsylvania, another home to us, up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe. However you're connecting with Wake Up Call, from the bottom of my heart, as always, thank you for your love and for your support.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
Cafe Cabal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafecabal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Cabal needs. Cafe Cabal, coffee for the soul. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating. Find them at 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and all the time online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, you can order all throughout the country at maandpaspopcorn.com. And remember to get your tins, which have in-store half-price refills forever. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, available to you for fundraising and all of your events by calling 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you? This is a special message from Merritt Brady, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Watertown on 1290 Arsenal Street in Watertown, New York.
Chick-fil-A for me has always been about the people. I think it starts with the strength and leadership of the Cathy family. It's just amazing to see a family-run business reach the altitude that they have. Second mile service is something that we embodied at my previous business, and the ability to make people feel like they're the only person at your establishment, that you are there to serve them that day and looking for those extra ways to make them happy, to anticipate what they need next is what makes me tick. And I'm going to have so many opportunities at Chick-fil-A to do that. It's one of my favorite things to eat in the world. My favorite application question or interview question when I'm interviewing is when I get to, have you ever eaten at Chick-fil-A? And a smile hits both their ears. You know, they can't even answer the question for a second. And when I see that, it's like, man, that's going to be a great hire. They already get it. They already feel it. They already know that we're different. The Chick-fil-A experience, it's a real thing. And then, of course, just our generosity and community involvement and making a positive impact in the lives of our team members, our guests, and the community in general, I think is really the secret sauce.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, inside of a fantastic week of wonderful broadcasts with you here where sports meets life. We appreciate you being here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and can't thank you enough for being a part of the show here on Wake Up Call where sports meets that thing called life. And of course, you're with us on our youtube.com/Wake Up Call DT channel, as well as facebook.com/Wake Up Call DT, and on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. So however you're connected with the show, thank you so much for tuning in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. And it is now time for us to jump into the ingredients to success, proudly presented by the wonderful team at Avicolli's. And that wonderful, wonderful team at Avicolli's are coming to you here every Tuesday through Sunday. They are closed on Mondays, but make sure you go there Tuesday through Sunday
here
to
every
Avicolli's
Tuesday through
to
Sunday. They are
enjoy
closed.
their fantastic food. Of course, their outdoor area is going to be opening up for you with this weather breaking, so I'm very excited for that, for you to be able to dine in outside. To me, it feels like yesterday that you were able to do that at Avicolli's, and now you'll be able to do it again, to be able to dine in on their outdoor area with all their beautiful flowers and everything they have to offer. And of course, you can also go inside to their pizza side, the more casual side to things, as well as their fine dining side, which is on the other side. So if you're going into Avicolli's and looking right at it head on the left side, more casual pizza side and whatnot, plenty of stuff on the menu. On the right side, you're going to have your fine dining and your bar as always. And so we definitely implore you to go over there, be it dine in on the pizza side, dine in on the fine dining side, head out to the bar, head outside to have a wonderful experience as the weather is getting warmer and nicer here in central and upstate New York. And of course, for takeout, delivery, and catering, you can get in touch with Avicolli's as well by calling 315-622-5100. That's 315-622-5100. So however you're connecting with Avicolli's, we appreciate you for doing that. Thank you so much. The ingredients to success come to you from Avicolli's at the end of every Tuesday broadcast here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. And I'm giving you a topic as well as the ingredients to success when it comes to that topic. So to jump into today's, I would say to you that my topic for today is when things don't always go your way, right? When things don't always go your way, there's that fear, right? There's that fear, there's that concern, there's that anxiety, there's that hopelessness, there's that sadness, that confusion, that frustration, that anger, all of those things, that work against us and work against our happiness, right? And we get sad and we get down and we feel like nothing's going in our direction, right? And when things don't go your way, it becomes debilitating, right? Why didn't I meet that special someone? Why am I not a parent yet? Why didn't I get that job I applied for? Why can't I live in this city? Why do I feel like this is too expensive for me? Why is this too hard? Why can't I travel and go here? Why did this friend let me down? Why did this person lie to me? Why didn't this work out? When things aren't going our way, we get stuck, we get frustrated, we get upset. And so what are the ingredients to success to get out of that? Well, first and foremost, you have to understand you control nothing but yourself. You control absolutely nothing in your life but you. You cannot control other people. You cannot control situations outside of yourself. You can do the best that you can do to, help things work in a certain direction, right? But you cannot force things to be. You cannot make things be. You don't know. And when things aren't going your way, we seek to pull the reins in tighter, right? And you can't, because you can't control it. You could apply for a job and you could be qualified. Heck, you could be overqualified. There was a lot of jobs I applied for that I was qualified for. There were jobs I applied for that I might have been overqualified for, and I didn't get any of those jobs. A lot of them didn't even bother to call me back. And look at me now. I own my own company. And if those jobs had called me back, would I be sitting here today in my own studio, connected to my own office in a business that I've run for over 10 years? You know, would I be my own boss if they had said yes? So I feel like in the moment, it is so hard in life. It is so hard in life in the moment to see the forest through the trees. It is so hard to see the silver lining sometimes when things just feel debilitating, right? And I mean, I come to you today and I have a lot of things on my mind. I have a friend who is fighting a very, very, very difficult battle with a disease that I would love if it didn't exist, along with all the rest of them. You know, I'm a person who had been married and is divorced. I wanted to be a father at 25. I'm 37. So, you know, I have things on my mind that didn't go my way. My marriage did not work out. I did not like the person I was married to because she was not my partner in many ways. I didn't like that certain jobs didn't say yes. I didn't like that certain places didn't give me a raise. I didn't like that certain bosses, I think, didn't even appreciate what I did, or sometimes I didn't even feel like they knew I was there. I don't like that I came back from vacation one time at a job that I literally took the job because of the bosses I had, and I came back from vacation and my boss had been let go and nobody told me why. And so when he wasn't there, it wasn't only that I missed him, the boss that they brought in couldn't have been more polar opposite. I did not, to this day, I would never work for the boss that came in for him. Unless there was I believe everybody deserves a second chance, but there'd have to be a lot of change for me to consider it. If he was the same person, no. And so, I mean, there's a bunch of things that didn't go my way. Like I said, raises, wanting to have kids, marrying the wrong person, you know, the way people have treated me, the disrespect that I've taken from some people, the things that some people have said to me or done to me have left me thinking, wow, that didn't go my way. You know, that's not how I wanted it to go. And it leaves you thinking that everybody's bad. It leaves you thinking that you can't trust anybody. Nobody's a person of their word. You know, it leaves you with a lot of demands. It leaves you with a lot of worries. It leaves you with a lot of negative thoughts. So how do you get past it? You get past it by knowing, to me, it's by knowing God. To me, it's by knowing God. Because if you don't know God, this world is really, I mean, you're gonna be waiting for this world to do right by you. And I'm gonna be real with you. That's not what the world's gonna do. And if the world does do it, they're not gonna do it all the time. This world is a lot of things. It's a lot of things. One thing it's not is always there for you. But God is. And I don't push my faith on anybody. I just talk about my truth. I talk about the things that matter to me. I talk about where my heart's at and why my heart is there. And to me, you know, my heart is with God. My faith is with God. My joy is with God. My sacrifices are with God. My everything is God's. And I don't know how we do this without God. I really don't. And I don't want to do it without God. So all I can say is to be the best person you can be. I feel like you have to have faith in yourself. You have to trust yourself. You have to know that when nobody's looking out for you and it feels that way, that God is looking out for you. That God has your best interest at heart. That God's going to help you get to where you're going. That you're going to be okay. That things are going to work out for the best. And that sometimes it just takes a deep breath But, I mean, I come to you today saying not everything's gone my way, yet I'm alive. I have great parents. I have great friends that have made me their brother. I have great nieces and nephews, a great godson. I have a great dog that you can hear right now in my office studio area. I have a wonderful, wonderful home. I have the ability to travel and be in my hometown and get to live in all that world. Florida's my second home, and I love Florida for so many reasons. You know, I have enough money to pay my bills and do fun things. I get to sit in my bed and watch TV and movies with my sweet girl Lily. I have new beginnings and new opportunities. So even though life doesn't always go your way, if you're alive, you still can dictate which way you want to go. Life might not always go your way, but you can always choose the way you go. And my prayer for everybody, whether or not you believe in God, is God guide us and guard us. Because I believe if God guides us to what's good and guards us from what's not, we're all going to be okay. So I know the world isn't perfect, and it was never meant to be. But it is worth living. It is worth giving an opportunity to. And I do believe you can shine. Just hold on for me, okay? Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of the Lemoyne College Dolphins. We bring you AD and DT every first and third Wednesday of each month at 9 a.m. Eastern Time with Athletics Director Bob Beretta and myself, Dan Tortora, a.k.a. DT. At the same time, we bring you Dolphin, and we'll bring you Dolphin Dive every second and fourth Wednesday of each month at 9 a.m. Eastern Time with student athletes, coaches, future Dolphins, alumni, and administration. You can find all this content by going to the Lemoyne tab on wakeupcalldt.com, as well as by subscribing to the YouTube channel on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. For more information, go to LemoyneDolphins.com. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of the Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse. The Bobcats come to you every single month on Wake Up Call with student athletes and coaches joining us here. You can get all of our content by going to the BSC Syracuse tab on wakeupcalldt.com, as well as by going to our YouTube channel and subscribing to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt and searching Bobcat Buzz. For more information on your Bobcats, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com. With all that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, I want to thank my fantastic guests inside of Christy's Corner, International Boxing Hall of Famer and good friend Christy Salters-Martin, as well as a former manager to many champions in the boxing world, as well as a promoter in bringing us country box, Mr. Jimmy Adams, and of course, the exclusive partner in our Christy's Corner segment, that being PB&J's Lunchbox, and a big thanks to their owner, Pat Orr, who is also a wonderful boxing photographer and photographer in general. Big thanks to Levell Sanders for joining the show on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora from the Binghamton Bearcats men's basketball team as their head coach, and many thanks to the awesome food creations as well as the wonderful neighbor we have in Central New York in Avicolli's, bringing you the ingredients to success to round out every Tuesday show. And Avicolli's on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York, on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road, walking distance down the street from Liverpool High School. So many thanks and much love to them. I hope you have a fantastic day. Thanks to Ma and Pa's for always letting us know what's popping. And you can go to Ma and Pa's and get any one of their tins with half price refills for life by going to 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. In the meantime, find us on Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, Twitter at CallDT, and Instagram at WakeUpCall_DT. Follow Two Mics No Filter, a former segment of Wake Up Call that is now becoming its own individual standalone broadcast in the Dan Tortora Broadcast Media Network. You can follow us now at Two Mics No Filter on Facebook and Instagram, and you can email us show topics by going to twomicsnofilter@gmail.com.